Around the world, coronavirus has affected everyone.
Caught in the middle of a crisis.
We are in lockdown.
Teaching from home has been very challenging.
It has created challenges you have had to adapt to as teachers, students, parents.
There has been a humongous change.
We have to create this sense of global community.
Sometimes alone, sometimes together, but always as one. You have balanced life at home with teaching, learning, and new experiences. Teachers have found new ways to deliver outstanding English lessons at home that inspires learning.
It's a circle, very good. Here I am.
Students have motivated each other to speak,
Please stay home to protect yourself and your family.
listen, read, and write when not always together.
Good morning, children.
I have this feeling that I've learned loads.
I have drawn a picture of moon.
And of course, parents have supported their children's learning, creating classrooms everywhere and anywhere they can. You will look back with pride at what you have achieved. You continue to deliver hope and support to each other and the community around you.
It was actually really amazing having everyone checking in from around the world.
I love my job so much.
Thanks to all the teachers for making distance learning a successful experience.
So no matter when your school returns, whatever your classroom looks like, wherever you are, just know that we will continue to support all of you every step of the way. So thank you to our Cambridge communities all around the world.
I want to thank Cambridge Assessment English.
You have given me the best advice.
Thanks to our teachers.
Thank you, teachers, so much.
Thank you so much for all your support.
You are the best teachers ever.
Thank you for everything. Around the world, coronavirus has affected everyone.
Caught in the middle of a crisis.
We are in lockdown.
Teaching from home has been very challenging.
It has created challenges you have had to adapt to as teachers, students, parents.
There has been a humongous change.
We have to create this sense of global community.
Sometimes alone, sometimes together, but always as one. You have balanced life at home with teaching, learning, and new experiences. Teachers have found new ways to deliver outstanding English lessons at home that inspires learning.
It's a circle, very good. Here I am.
Students have motivated each other to speak,
Please stay home to protect yourself and your family.
listen, read, and write when not always together.
Good morning, children.
I have this feeling that I've learned loads.
I have drawn a picture of moon.
And of course, parents have supported their children's learning, creating classrooms everywhere and anywhere they can. You will look back with pride at what you have achieved. You continue to deliver hope and support to each other and the community around you.
It was actually really amazing having everyone checking in from around the world.
I love my job so much.
Thanks to all the teachers for making distance learning a successful experience.
So no matter when your school returns, whatever your classroom looks like, wherever you are, just know that we will continue to support all of you every step of the way. So thank you to our Cambridge communities all around the world.
I want to thank Cambridge Assessment English.
You have given me the best advice.
Thanks to our teachers.
Thank you, teachers, so much.
Thank you so much for all your
You are
support.
the best teachers ever.
Thank you for everything. Around the world, coronavirus has affected everyone.
caught in the middle of a crisis.
We are in lockdown.
Teaching from home has been very challenging.
It has created challenges you have had to adapt to as teachers, students, parents.
There has been a humongous change.
We have to create this sense of global community.
Sometimes alone, sometimes together, but always as one. You have balanced life at home with teaching, learning, and new experiences. Teachers have found new ways to deliver outstanding English lessons at home that inspires learning.
It's a circle. Very good. Here I am.
Students have motivated each other to speak,
Please stay home to protect yourself and your family.
listen, read, and write when not always together.
Good morning, children.
I have this feeling that I've learned loads.
I have drawn a picture of moon.
And of course, parents have supported their children's learning, creating classrooms everywhere and anywhere they can. You will look back with pride at what you have achieved. You continue to deliver hope and support to each other and the community around you.
It was actually really amazing having everyone checking in from around the world.
I love my job so much.
Thanks to all the teachers for making distance learning a successful experience.
So no matter when your school returns, whatever your classroom looks like, wherever you are, just know that we will continue to support all of you every step of the way. So thank you to our Cambridge communities all around the world.
I want to thank Cambridge Assessment English.
You have given me the best advice.
Thanks to our teachers.
Thank you, teacher, so much.
Thank you so much for all your
You are
support.
the best teachers ever.
Thank you for everything.
Hi, everyone. A very good morning to you all. So good morning all. We welcome you to the annual Coordinators Conference 2020, and we hope that you are staying safe. It's very encouraging to see that we are adapting to the changes the pandemic has brought in, especially in the education sector. The role of teachers have evolved tremendously, keeping in line with this. Our annual Cambridge Coordinators Conference is an opportunity for teachers and educational leaders from different regions to apply new concepts, share knowledge, and discuss common challenges in offering the Cambridge English qualification. So this year, the annual Coordinators Conference is structured to be a pathway to the Global Cambridge Live Experience till 10th September 2020, with a line of interesting ELT talks and 10 Inspire sessions hosted by 30 speakers from around the world. There is really something for everyone. So our Cambridge Live Expo will open up the new world of latest innovations, product, and research from us. So we can't wait for you to join that experience as well. A quick disclaimer, there will be multiple questions asked through various polls to kind of keep us informed about your needs. Let's start with one. So I'm just gonna quickly do a poll. For the people on desktop, it's gonna appear on your right side of the screen. For the people who are on mobile, it will appear somewhere around the bottom. You just have to click on it. With that note, I would like to pass it on to my colleague, Mr. T.K. Arunachalam, the honors for opening up ACC 2020. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, Apoor. I'm just waiting for the poll questions to come up. So those who are on desktop, I think the poll will appear on your screen to your right. We just want to understand more about the participants today. So please click through a response that is describing your organization the best. We'll just give it another 10 seconds for people to vote. So I think broadly about 50% of the participants today are from our existing schools and colleges, and about 30% are newer schools and colleges who are looking to introduce the Cambridge qualifications. With that, I think it's a good sense of the participants today. Let's kind of move on. I think as Apoor briefly introduced, my name is Arunachalam. I'm the Regional Director for Cambridge Assessment English for South Asia. I think all of us would agree that the last 6 months have been unprecedented. I think there's no parallel in terms of the way challenges were thrown at educators and how the teachers in particular have responded to that. I think first and foremost is for us to make sure that the Cambridge community is safe. So we really wish and hope that you and your family are safe and continue to be safe. We are on unlock mode right now in most parts of South Asia, but we still wish and hope that you all can remain safe. Today there is a news article that the higher secondary schools SOPs have come in India, so they could potentially look at reopening from the 21st of September. So I think there are new challenges coming teachers' way, but I think this lockdown has been, as I said, unprecedented. I think every industry was affected, including education, but the way I think the educators and particularly teachers have responded to it, I think dwarfs everyone else's response to this pandemic. While the healthcare sector have really risen up to support patients and help with care, I think what has really been heartening is the way teachers have stepped up with almost limited training, no training, many of them for the first time utilizing Zoom, Google Meet, WebEx, whatever is the platform that the school have subscribed to, jumping in, diving in to start teaching, to make sure that the children do not lose out, and actually spending a lot of time to make sure that the experience is enjoyable. I have not seen one teacher who claimed that, oh, I will do whatever I've done in my regular classroom in the remote teaching. I think every teacher has gone through a process of learning to make sure that the children get the best. I think this industry, the way the school teachers, the college faculty have responded to these changes, I think hats off to all of you. I think it has been unprecedented. An ideal situation would have been where a teacher is on one end of the screen, there is a student. I think in this example on your screen, you see a young girl who's got access to all the devices. And I think it almost appears that the learning is seamless. It's just moved from a classroom to online. But all of us know, I think we have about 60 teachers today in this annual coordinators conference, that it has not been a smooth sailing. Many of our school teachers do not have the kind of infrastructure to deliver remote learning from their residences or from the classrooms. And that is when I think the South Asian idea of innovation comes to the fore. Here you see an example that went viral of a teacher utilizing all the little things at her disposal to make sure that what she's writing on the board can be visible to the children so that they can learn and they get a better experience of this whole remote learning or digital learning. So I think you cannot take the teacher away from all of the digital learning or remote teacher, continue the heart of the whole learning process. While there are also some examples where I think while the teachers have taken that effort to go that extra mile to make sure that they engage and interact with the children, I think for the children, the participants also, this is a new world. I think this is a classic example where maybe a grandparent is actually doing the activity inside the class while the child is actually maybe thinking about something else that is more interesting than what is being said in the class. So that's the reality as well. Let's not for a moment think that, oh, we all have moved digital, everything is great, digital learning is the future. I think there are still challenges. There are a lot of things that we all have to work together, and teachers need to be supported, and more importantly, learners need to be supported in this. So while without the pandemic, life could have gone on, your academic year could have gone as per schedule. We are probably in September. I think there are different threshold levels in September to be done, some tests to be done. Suddenly, we are not able to do any of that. We have to kind of completely innovate. It's the same for Cambridge English as well. We also had to innovate. I think we stopped delivering exams first week of March. And from then on, we are trying to support our centers, schools, colleges, teachers in particular. We have done over 13 full-scale workshops for our teachers. We had more than 9,500 teachers who participated. Yesterday, we had close to about 250 of them who attended the coordinators conference as well. So we are trying to reach out. We are trying to reach out to parents. We are trying to reach out to students to make sure that I think we are supporting our centers and our preparation centers, which means our schools and colleges in this hour of need. We also utilize this time, at least for the higher education products, to reach out to companies to gain more local recognition for our products, because education institutions were shut. The team in Cambridge could reach out to top corporates in the region to make sure that when these students come out with a Cambridge qualification, they are well accepted. I think this whole annual coordinators conference is a first for us, where we have normally would have done a 10-city tour of the annual coordinators conference. We would have come to your city. We would have done a physical event inviting all the teachers from that city. But this year, as we all know, it's different. So what we have done is we have an hour-and-a-half session for the annual coordinators conference, but this leads on to the Cambridge Live experience. I really wish and hope that most of you benefited from the sessions yesterday. These are the Cambridge Live sessions on 8th, 9th, and 10th September. These are ongoing sessions delivered digitally from the best in the world to support the Cambridge community across the world. So you get to interact with teachers or faculty from rest of the world and probably hear from how they have responded to some of these new age challenges. Together, we feel that we can break the shackles of COVID-19 and continue this process of learning. So we hope that I think while these challenges do come in, we are able to work together, support each other, and ensure the future is bright for our learners. With that, I'm going to pass this over to my colleague, Kevin Coyne, who is going to talk to you about how we can support our teachers. But in the meanwhile, I would request Apoorv to probably run one more question on the poll just to kind of get a sense check of some of our participants. Thank you very much. I wish and hope you have a productive session and attend the rest of the Cambridge Live sessions. There'll be a Q&A session right at the end, but away in the chat box. We will respond to it at the end of this session. Thank you very much, and over to you, Apoorv and Kevin.
Yeah. Thank you, Arun. So we have quickly posted a poll over here that do you regularly use the Cambridge teacher resources available online? So 80% people are stating it to be yes. Let's give it 10 seconds. Okay, so around 63% people are stating yes, 37 or 40% people say no. So for those people who are stating no, there will be plethora of resources which will be discussed throughout this session. So you can actually take advantage of that as well. Quickly gonna jump over to a next question over here. Just one more question, then we'll cover a bit of other questions in beginning of other sessions. So are there any additional resources required to prepare candidates for Cambridge qualifications? Kevin, meanwhile, the poll goes on, over to you.
Thank you, Apur. I think we are almost ending the poll. So thank you, Arun, for that introduction. Thank you, Apur. A very good morning, everybody, and welcome to the second day of the annual Coordinator Conference. Today, my name is Kevin Coyne, and today I'm here to talk about how we, Cambridge Assessment English, supporting teachers to deliver learning digitally. I just saw the results of the poll. Many of you said additional resources are required, and I'm just hoping that after this presentation that you'll change your answers and say, no, the website has everything, and I'm going to go into the website and take those resources. So while there's a lot of resources on our website, which I'll share with you, I think today I'm going to just focus on 7 most important resources that as a teacher you will require to in your classroom to aspire. It's a whole one-stop shop for teachers. It's to support teachers with all the resources available for Cambridge Assessment English exams. The second resource we have is training materials for students as well as for teachers. I will show you a whole pack that we've come out with where you can send students activities for them to do. They can do it on the computer and send it back to you. The third resource that I'm going to talk to you about is about Cambridge English Weekly. It's a brilliant system where you just have to say how many hours you want to do the training program for, how many hours in a week do you have, how many weeks you have, and the system will give you a whole plan for you as a teacher that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Many of you may have heard about Write and Improve that I'll talk about today, which will help your students to improve their writing skills. But we've also come out with something called as Speak and Improve. Based on the feedback and the phenomenal response we've got from Write and Improve, we've also got Speak and Improve. I'll touch upon Speak and Improve, and I'm sure after this webinar, you'll definitely be testing it out and asking your students to test it out. And once you've done writing and speaking, I think a lot of us in India would really like to have resources on listening, and we have something called as Virtually Anywhere to support you to help your students to improve their listening skills. And then our very own Cambridge English TV, which is our YouTube channel. I'll show you the resources that we have over there. A quick look at the apps and the support that we have on Facebook. So like I said, I just hope while you're glued into this presentation, that after this presentation, you'll just say, I have 100% of resources available for me on the Cambridge English website. So a very, very quick snapshot. All these resources that I'm going to talk to you about today is on our website, which is cambridgeenglish.org. So in case, even if you forget anything on my presentation or you really can't recollect it, don't worry. Just go back to our website, which is cambridgeenglish.org. You have everything that I'm going to talk to you about is over there. So when you go there, there's a section called as Teaching English. If you click on that, again, it's all put into various categories. In terms of, it tells you what are the free resources, what are the resources available for exam preparation, what are the free webinars that you have. So again, it's categorized easily for you as a teacher, for you to find it. So the first resource I was talking to you about is the one-stop shop for all of you who are teachers over there who want to know where is your handbook for teachers, where is the lesson plan, where is the information for candidates, where is the speaking videos for all the exams. Everything is available in this document called as Inspire. It's produced by Cambridge Assessment English. And as you can see the demo over here, for every exam you have a page, and this page will give you the entire details, starting from, for example, if there are flashcards, if there is writing assessments, if there's speaking videos, if there's a handbook for teachers, sample papers, information for candidates. So everything is provided digitally for you. You just need to download it and you need to send it to your students, and you could go ahead and begin your classes. So this is called as Inspire, and I will put out the link on the chat box after my webinar is over, so that you can keep it with you and you can go ahead and you can revisit it. So like I said, it's available from starters, movers, flyers, key for schools, preliminary for schools, first for schools, C1 advanced, and C2 proficiency. So if you're a teacher currently preparing students or going to prepare students for Cambridge English exams, this is the document that you will require to keep it handy, and it's all hyperlinked. So just keep the links, the website link with you. So every time we update it at the back end, that you will have the most recent available resource that you can access it and change it and send it to your students. So the first thing called as Inspire, don't forget that, write it down somewhere, and you can definitely use it after the webinar is over when you get back into your digital classes. The second resource is training materials for students. I think many of you may be saying, okay, we want to train students for the Cambridge English exams. Where do we begin? How do we begin? And that's where the support we've created for pre-A1 starters, A2 movers, and A1 movers and A2 flyers will be ready in a week's time. But this is available over there. You have a candidate support pack, a teacher support pack, which will have all the documents in it. We will send this across to you. We will do an orientation for you. But this is how it will look. So for example, you send one sheet of this to your students, say for example if it's reading and writing, and then the students on the system, you can use a tool where they can write the answers and send it back to you, and you can just evaluate it and you can give them the feedback. So this is another tool that we have provided for the teachers. It's called as training materials for teachers and for students. So this is the second resource. The third resource is called as Cambridge English Weekly. Now, this is a brilliant resource, teachers. Now, for example, say you want to begin the Cambridge program, say, for example, for the key for schools or for the preliminary for schools. Now, you want to do it across 4 months. So say you say I have 12 weeks of class, 12 weeks that I want to do the training. Every week I say I want to spend 1 hour or 2 hours for this. So once you do this for A2, B1 or B2 level, what happens is that the system will directly show you what resources you can use. So like I just now told you, you just have 3 simple steps. You choose the exam that you want to train for. You choose how many teaching weeks available for you. Like I said, if you have 4 months, then you have 16 weeks. Then you say every week how many hours would you like to train? 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. Once you fill in the details, the system will just give you an entire lesson plan. So you don't need to sit down and reinvent the wheel. You get an entire lesson plan which says week 1 what you need to do, week 2 what you need to do, week 3 what you need to do. The system will tell you when to do listening, reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary, and grammar. So you can see how important this resource is and how it's available there. It's free of cost. It's for all the preparation centers, for all the teachers who are preparing students for Cambridge English exams. All you need to do is to go to our website, search for Cambridge English Weekly, and you could start you start to use it whenever you're starting to plan your exams. The next resource, like I was talking to you about, is Speak and Improve. All of us would like to improve our speaking skills. I think that's most of the ambitions of parents. They always come to you, teacher, and say, okay, ma'am, how do I improve the speaking skill of my child? And this is an amazing tool that we have. It's called as Speak and Improve. There's a robot called as Sandy. All your child needs to do is just log on to this website, talk to the robot, a certain task that the robot will give them. You need to share your task, and then the system will give you feedback. So this is called as Speak and Improve. So your search for improving, the speaking skills of your student kind of ends over here. You have a tool, so you could start going ahead and using it, teachers. And you'll definitely, I think I did this webinar yesterday. I've already got so much of feedback, and I can see so many people say, oh, wow, sir, I've used this tool. It's phenomenal and it's amazing. So like you have Speak and Improve to improve the speaking skills of your students, we also have another tool called as Write and Improve. It's very, very similar to Speak and Improve. You have it from A1 level up to C2 level on the CFR framework. So that covers the entire suite of Cambridge English exams. And this is predominantly there to improve your child's speaking skills. And how this works. So for example, there's a task which is there on the system. Your child just needs to key in the answer in 50 words or 35 words. And once they submit the button, it does not come to you for evaluation, teachers. Okay, gone are the days where you have to look at 35 or 40 or 45 papers, correct it, give them feedback. So you just have to tell them to do this task online. The system will give them feedback immediately. They can send you a picture of that, and you as a teacher will get to see how your class has fared, where they are on the CFR framework, whether they're at A2 level, what are the mistakes that they made as a class. Whether it's to do with coherence, whether it's to do with grammar, you find the lexical resources are a bit poor. You've seen that they use the wrong word in a place. So this is something where the system will give you feedback, and as a collective, response from your class, you as a teacher can kind of then change your methodology or whatever you need to do as a teacher. So this is called as Write and Improve. So you don't gone are those days where you have to ask them to send you the answers, you evaluate it, and then you have to give them feedback. Go ahead and use the system. It's there to support you as a teacher, especially during this time. You can just give them the link saying that children, do this class, do this lesson, send me back the answers, and then you could evaluate it, or you can see where your children are making mistakes. Yeah. So that's the fourth one, which is Write and Improve and Speak and Improve. Then we move on to when you've finished with speaking skills, writing skills, and then we are here to look at the listening skills of the students. So like I said, we are here to look at a comprehensive, development of your students, speaking, writing, and now listening. A lot of you would like to improve the listening skills of your students. This is a tool for you. It's called as Virtually Anywhere. It's at a B1 and a B2 level. So any of your children who are doing the PET or the FCE, you can go ahead and use this tool. There are 7 episodes. It's between a professor and 2 students called as Paul and Geeta. So this is how the activities or the lesson plans, it will be given to you as a teacher. It will tell you what are the aims of the session, what is the time required, what is the materials required, and what are the levels of the students. Yeah. And then you have the student sheet. So where you could email this to the student, say, okay, go ahead, listen to this, fill in your answers and give it back to you. So just see, teachers, as a tool and as a website, how helpful this could be, especially during this time where everything is done online. You can just download it, or you can send them the link. They can easily access it. And there you could go ahead and use this tool of Virtually Anywhere to improve the listening skills of your students. And coming to our very own YouTube channel called as Cambridge English TV. Many of you are going to YouTube to find out resources for your students, for your classes. Please go ahead and visit our YouTube channel. It's called as Cambridge English YouTube. There are a lot of resources. There are more than 98 webinars over there. If you are teaching idioms to your students, we do have a list of idioms which are over there, which are shown in a video form. Well, I call them as vidioms. So it's very, very interesting that instead of you standing across on a screen and trying to explain an idiom to them, just send them the link, let them go through it. You'll get to sense a gauge of whether they understand the idiom. You can ask them to phrase their own sentences. And so this is also available for you over there. If you want to see how a speaking test happens, you can send them this YouTube link directly. They can have a look at it, and they will be able to help out to really know what happens in a speaking test. So if you go to the Cambridge English TV on YouTube channel, there's a lot of resources, a couple of resources that I'm showing you over here. But after this webinar, please do go ahead and explore those, explore our channel. And definitely you will find a lot of resources which you can go ahead and use during this time to help you in your classroom. And finally, this is a fantastic app called as Quiz Your English. As teachers, you can use this app in your classroom. It's a very safe and very healthy app for your students in terms of it's a safe environment. Once they download the app, they can go ahead and you can have like a competition in the class saying that, okay, children, this month I would like you to do this section on study. Quiz Your English is very simple, where they play across the 5 questions across with anybody in the globe. When you get your answers immediately, you can also motivate them. Since they're all online, they'll be able to use this app and they'll be able to develop their English. And finally, all of you who are on Facebook, we have a Facebook community for English teachers. So this is something that you can go ahead and you can click on. Every week you do get a post where you can use it in your classroom. Many of you who are here maybe are existing preparation centers. Many of you may be wanting to start Cambridge Assessment English in your school. So please go ahead, and we do have a couple of workshops that are coming. If you have existing teachers, if you have new teachers who need to be trained, need to be having an be given an orientation, we do have the first orientation coming up on the 12th of September. It's for our young learners English exams. It's from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So if you have any teachers who need to be oriented towards how to do the young learners English exam, or you need you have any existing teachers who need a refresher, please do contact your authorized center. Please do contact the business development staff in the Cambridge English offices across India. Vikas, Abhishek, Joshua, Samuel, or myself will be more than happy to send you an invitation for this workshop. Again, I said it's for new teachers. It's for a refresher. It's a refresher workshop for teachers who are existing teaching. Currently, young learners will be also doing similar things for KET, PET, as well as for BEC. So on this note, again, just to recap, all the resources are available on our website. We'll drop the link at the end of the webinar. Please go ahead, and I really hope that this webinar was useful for you as teachers, and we truly hope that this will help you and support you in your current venture of training students for Cambridge English exams. So on this note, this is my mobile number and my email ID. You can feel free to reach out to me. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to me. And now I'll hand over to my colleague, Samuel, who will talk about the student resources available. Over to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Kevin's sessions are always very lively, and I really enjoy them. A very special welcome to all our coordinators who have taken time out to attend this. We do this event to recognize the work, the efforts that you put in promoting Cambridge exams, and this is our way of saying thank you. So I'm going to talk to you about resources available for learners, parents, and where do you find them, how do you use these resources, the ways that you could work with us, and if you have any questions, we'll take it at the last. Okay, so this is the agenda which I'm going to take you through. So I want you to listen to me for the next 20 minutes, and I'll keep it as interesting as possible. And if you have a paper, please do make note of the links and where do you find these resources. We saw that a lot of new institutions, there is a wide group of institutions who've been working with us, and there are institutions who is planning to introduce Cambridge exams this year. So the first model that I'm going to speak about is for institutions who have already partnered with us. As you know, these are tough times and everything have moved digitally. So how do you train students? How do we go ahead and do this program this year digitally is what I'm going to speak about. So the first step, there has been change in the account manager. So for every preparation center, we have a dedicated person who's there to support you. So if you don't know who's your dedicated relationship manager, feel free to get in touch with us and get to know your account manager. And from the exam point of view, there will be a contact. So please get to know who's the point of contact in your exam center. So the step one, get to know your point of contact in Cambridge and in the exam center. Once you know that, the second, we help you to reach parents through Cambridge Connect. So Cambridge Connect is a portal that we've developed to reach out to parents, so it could be done through the institution, and my colleague Apur will be speaking more about this. The third step is we help you conduct an orientation for your parents to make them aware about Cambridge exam, the benefit that it brings to the institution. So if you feel that students also need to be oriented, we are more than happy to support you. The fourth step is we organize digital program for teachers to equip them. Most of our programs in the past have been face-to-face. Now we have gone digital. I'm sure that you remember Kevin shared a lot of information and workshops that we are planning to do for teachers. So if you feel that your teachers are not equipped, they've not attended the Cambridge English Teacher Support Program, please feel free to register them for the September 12th event. And the next step would be to start training students online. So we have the candidate support pack that is prepared. It would help you to train students. And the next step is once the students are ready, you go ahead and organize or decide on the exam date, and we could help you conducting these exams. The next model that I'm going to talk about is for institutions who are planning to introduce Cambridge exams this year and who's wanting to know how to implement it. So we organized an event which briefs them about how to collaborate with Cambridge. We had around 400 people. And now we are planning to do this event because there has been a lot of demand from people asking to do this event in the next month. So we are planning to do one more event for higher educational institutions as well as schools. So once you attend the event, you get an idea on how to introduce Cambridge exams. And then you submit a letter of interest. You express your interest. And once you express your interest, the concerned BD representative will get in touch with you. He will brief you on the models of how you could partner with Cambridge. Once you finalize the model, we would help to train your teachers. They could attend our online workshops. And after attending the workshop, we also support you with reaching out to students and parents, and you could start your training digitally for students. And the last is you can conduct exams at a date that is convenient for the students and parents. So this is the model for new institutions. So just to summarize this, for the existing, get to know your point of contact in the center and Cambridge. Once you do that, finalize on the teacher workshop date. We help you to reach out to parents parallelly. Once you reach out to parents, you can start training your students digitally, and then you fix on the exam date. So these are 5 steps for the existing institution. For the new institution, you attend our event, you get to know how to implement Cambridge exams in your institution. You express your interest. The BD person speaks to you on how to go ahead and collaborate with us. You decide on the model. Once you decide, we help you to train teachers and reach out to parents, and then you go ahead, train students, and the last will be to conduct exams. So if you're not clear with the model, feel free to write to us, and we are happy to speak to you and support you. So moving on to the resources that we've developed, I'm going to speak about 2. One is resources available for school students, because we have a lot of schools who are participating in this event. We also have higher educational institutions, faculties representing them. So I'm going to talk about resources available for higher educational institutions and schools. So this is for the benefit of our newcomers. There are a lot of people who have joined the Cambridge family who are deciding to introduce exams. So Kevin gave you a brief overview about resources available for teachers. We have a huge range of resources for students, which is a combination of games and classroom activities. And we also have certain amazing assets for parents. So if you have not used them, please go ahead and start using them. So I will tell you, where do you find all these resources? So the very first step to find the resources is just log into our website. Once you log into the website, please keep in mind that .org is the global website and IN is the Indian page, the South Asia page. So once you log into this website, there are 2 steps. Step 1 is you click on exam and test. Once you click on exam and test, onto the left, you will find 2 pop-up windows or an icon which says schools and business English certificate. So business English certificate is for colleges, higher educational institutions, and schools. When you click, you find exams, list of exams. There are 7 certifications that can be done schools. So if you click on the exam, for example, I've clicked on B2 First for schools, which is done in class 7 or 8. So once you click on this, if you click on preparation, I've highlighted it. I'm also placing my cursor. So you click on preparation, you get the entire list of preparation available for that particular exam, B2 First for school. So for every level, if you click on the exam name, you click on preparation, you find the resources. So step 1, you log into the website And once you click on exam and test, onto the left you see preparation, and you get the entire resources, which is sample papers, activity sheets. You also have all resources that you need, and onto the left you also find games that would recommend. So Quiz Your English can be used for the students as well. So moving on to step 2. Okay, so click on Learning English. If you click on Learning English, this is the pop-up window that you see. So you have entire range of resources. So say if you're only focusing on preparing students for Cambridge exam, you click on exam preparation. If you want to know what is the level of your student, you click on Test Your English. It would give you the level that your student is at. So say if your students are below level C1, then you could look at upskilling them. So when they pass out, they at least have the minimum level C1. And the same if you want to reach out to parents or talk to parents about the benefits of these exams or motivate them to participate in the language journey, you click on Parents and Children. You have amazing articles for parents which says which activity do you choose, which level is right for your children, how do you go about choosing the level, how do you use a learning video or a story picture to motivate your student in learning. So please do share this, and we also do send out a newsletter to parents. So these are the 2 ways in finding that resource. Yeah, so now moving on to, as I told you, we have a huge range of resources. In addition to that, we've developed resources which would benefit teachers and learners. So we have been doing certain amazing collaborations. So we have teamed up with Kahoot to promote activity-oriented learning for young learners in English. So for every level, there would be 3 activities, and these are interesting activities. It could be played in team, it could be plugged into your virtual classroom. So if you have not used it, I would recommend go and use this. And something interesting, if you are really not a tech-savvy teacher, you need support. Onto the left, you will find an icon which says Teacher Training Program. If you click on that, there are programs organized, and you also have a teacher's guide which would take you through how to use Kahoot. So if you have not tried it, I would recommend please go ahead and try this. The next one that we have done is signed up with Pokayo. So this is an interesting learning video which creates interest in students to learn, creates the curiosity. Again, this is for young learners 2 to 6, and it's in 5 languages. So if you want students to also get a flavor of yeah, I'm sorry about that. Just had a technical problem, so I had to relog in. And so this is about Pokio. So if you have not done this, please go ahead and try using it. And moving on to the next resource that we've developed is the sample paper. So as you know, in the past, yeah, so as you know, in the past, I think teachers have been downloading the sample papers, getting students prepared. Now you need not do that. The sample papers are available digitally. So if you see, I'm just sharing part of listening part 1, where you listen to the video. So if you click on the listen icon, students can mark the answers. So once you complete your training, you can use these sample papers to get students prepared for the exam, or you could also use it to understand the level of the student. So we've repurposed the sample papers to train students digitally. Moving on to the next, learning English. If you've been working with us, you know that this is one amazing activity that we have, where there was 85 activities. Now we have added more new activities which make it more interesting for students. It focuses on your 4 skills. In addition, it also focuses on grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. and you have different levels that you can choose, and you can also decide what time would you want to do. Is it 0 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10, or 10 minutes? So these are activities that could be used to improve your students' listening, reading, writing, and the pronunciation and vocabulary. So if you have not done it, please ensure that your classroom has a combination of these digital resources which make it more interesting. The next, as I told, we don't only focus on teachers, learners, we focus on the entire community where we try contributing. So we believe that parents also play a very important role in shaping or helping a child to learn the language. So we have developed a 30-day challenge. So every day this is an activity that parents can do. So if you have not shared this with your parents, even teachers can try this in the classroom. So there are 30 activities. Every day you do an activity to create interest in the child and make them motivated. So if you've not tried this, we would recommend please go ahead and try it. It's really interesting. And next, as you know, we have, apart from the online support or online digital materials that we offer, we also have published materials. So these are materials that is in addition that institutions purchase. So during these difficult times, what we have done is we've opened up all this online for no subscription. So this is for a particular period of time, we've opened this up. So this is called the Exam Booster series. So depending on the exam level, students were able to make use of this, and they were able to benefit from it. So I hope that most of your students have used this. If not, please log into this website and you would find more information about the online resource. Next, as Kevin said, there's a Facebook page for teachers. We also do a lot of promote learning for students through this Facebook page. So to talk to you, we have amazing images. There are around 3,000 images which help students learn vocabulary. I'm sure every teacher is a part of WhatsApp group, and I think you're connected with your students. So you could download this and share it with your students, which will create interest. It will motivate them to learn the language. So these are one example that I gave. There are so many amazing images. You have a picture and you need to guess the vocabulary. So if you've not tried this, I would recommend please go ahead and try it. It's really interesting. And in fact, it also makes you addicted to do it daily and share the word. So what we have also done in addition for level A2 learners and B1 learners, the A2 key for schools and B1 prelim for schools, we've developed an app which supports in exam preparation. So this is something, if you're planning to train students for A2 key and B1 prelim, this app would help you. It not only helps you in preparing for exams, it also helps in preparing or building language skills. And it focuses on all your 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So if you've not downloaded the app, or if you aren't aware, please go ahead and download this on the Play Store. Next, we have also repurposed our collateral. I think when I briefed about the model, I said we help institutions to connect with parents through Cambridge Connect. So in the collateral, we've done a lot of changes. So what we have done is we have added a register now button so parents can register digitally. Students need not go to the counter and pay the fee. They can directly pay to the center. So we've activated that feature. And we've also given a lot of video links where parents can not only go through the letter. We believe that visuals create a better impact. So you could listen to the videos and then decide to register students for the exam. So if you do not have this mobile collateral, please do write to the concerned BD champ and we would be able to share this with you. And as we said, we are committed to helping institutions reach out to parents. So we've been organizing events in the past and we've been having a lot of parents participating in this. And if you want to do it through your institution, you want us to support you in reaching out to parents, you want us to come and speak to your parents about the benefit, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to organize this either on your platform or through our platform and support you. And that's for the school. Now moving on to the higher education. So as you know, there are 2 qualifications. One is the BEC and we do the lingua skill. So my colleague Manish would speak about the lingua skill. And I would want to talk more about the BEC and how we support learners. So if you are not familiar with this app, this is an app that helps students to prepare for the exam. It not only helps you in prepare, it also helps you understand your current level of English and recommends the right level. And there are also learning resources which could be used for you to prepare for this exam. So if you are not downloaded the app, we would recommend you go ahead and download it. In this time, we have also added the Business Vantage. So please go ahead and if your students use the Vantage, encourage them to use the app for learning. And second, what we have done for Beck is we used to do something as a revision seminar, and now we've converted that digitally. So we've developed learning videos around the Beck sample paper. So there are 48 videos which focuses on 4 skills. In addition, it also focuses on grammar and vocabulary. So there's a short video, you could listen to it, and it also gives you scenarios. For example, say if you say market leader, so this will tell you what is market leader, how do you use the vocabulary. So this is for Beck, which we've been doing. So please go ahead and do it. If you want us to do an orientation on this, we are happy to support you. And in addition, what we have done is we've developed these webinars which would benefit students. We don't only help students preparing for exams, we also ensure that the students are prepared for placements. So these are topics connected to the placement which makes them employable ready. So please, if you've not used it or you want to use it in your institution, we are more than happy to support you. And that's it for the schools and Beck. And I'm sure that you're quite clear. If you still have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And now over to Apur.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Apur. I'm the marketing manager for Cambridge English South Asia. So before we go ahead with the presentation, just want to do a quick poll to get an understanding on how does these tests assist you and how to place it to serve you better. So quickly, I would like to first understand that since we were talking about a lot of resources, that as this introduction started preparing the candidates for the tests. So either you can say a yes or a no based on that. So, requesting other participants to place them on mute. Thank you. Alrighty, so we have about 54% who have started the prep work. Now it's become 50. Quickly moving on to another question over here. So just wanted to know that do these tests complement your current English classroom? Because we want to kind of best understand that how to place this, position it. There's an entire consulting department working on this on this method to kind of complement these tests to your English language classrooms. Okay, around 82% say yes. Till that poll is on, let's quickly move on to the next part of the conference, that is empowering your brand. Sorry, somebody's mic is on. If everybody can check that, you know, their mics are off. Yeah, thank you. So quickly moving on to empowering your brand. Let's talk a bit about brand equity. So what is brand equity basically? So talking about brand equity, it's more than logo and assets. Your brand reputation, perceived quality, brand awareness, brand quality, everything comes under brand equity. And your logo, marketing assets, colors, images come under brand identity. Both of these halves will make something called as the brand. Now, it's more than logos and assets. So with us, I mean, taking your example for the case, is brand equity would be relationship with Cambridge Assessment English, doing an examination which 25,000 organizations recognize, you know, being associated with the largest research group in Europe, adhering to CEFR, you know, and on our Facebook, there are 59 lakhs people. So that is brand equity. But then what is brand identity? So like you are using our logo, the Prep Center logo that we have, our marketing collaterals, our brand colors, our exam names, etc., etc. all those will come under brand identity. So branding is everything, and we want you to benefit from it. What is the benefit out of it? So here's an example. There is a plain cup of coffee which costs you around $1.65, and then there is this coffee with Starbucks logo on it, and automatically price is around $3.65. And the reason for that is branding. So we want you to get advantage or make the most out of the Cambridge brand. And in just a minute, I'll be showing you how. So we are proudly a part of University of Cambridge, and you can use that to your advantage. Even while discussing with parents, you can the value proposition is so exciting because our qualifications are used to study abroad, immigration, and enhancing
already बोल दिया बड़ी दीदी लो
internationally respected as a quality standard, unrivaled brand reach and awareness, and recognized by 25,000 organizations globally. Jumping on to the center branding, how you should position yourself of this brand. So there are preparation center logos and certificates which local offices actually share with you to take an advantage of. There is logo guidelines for preparation centers. There is a prep center certificate as well as a prep center logo that you can utilize on all the different artworks. And how you can utilize that, I'll just come on to that with a second. So here is an example. This is a leaflet and outdoor media example. So this is some artwork done by International House. They are promoting their summer camp, but they are also utilizing the Cambridge English logo, which is down there, that they prepare for Cambridge English qualifications. Now this adds a little bit of more of international flavor to your efforts and your marketing activities, and it has a huge boost, just as a previous example as you saw. Now, another thing is also establishing credibility. Now, if you're working with us, you should also mention that on your business cards and your email signature. It just adds that little bit of oomph to it. Now, quickly moving on to joint branding, because there will be so many events that we will be doing jointly, as Kevin stated and Sam stated, that we will be doing a lot more. We will be doing a lot more support activities. Branding in that. So joint branding.
Apur, hi, sorry. I think there is someone called Cinderella who's joined in as a presenter. As a host, can you just remove her from the presenter so that I think that it's not disturbing the presentation?
Yeah. So joint branding, it needs to be clear that the marketing is from your center and not from Cambridge Assessment English, but at the same time have that little bit of international flair to it. So this is a publicity item where your logo comes up right at the top, and diagonally at the bottom on the right hand side there is the Cambridge English Prep Center logo. So it clearly establishes that you have your own identity, but the international flavor is still there. So quickly moving on to the next, how to use this branding to your advantage. Of course, there is a list of materials which is available where you can utilize these branding assets to kind of leverage on all the marketing that you can get out of it. So website pages, advertising, banners and posters, leaflets, free promotional items, email content, email signatures, business cards, social posts, etc., etc. So this is where you can use all these branding effects to assets to kind of get the most out of it. Now, branding support, where do you find it? So first thing is you will be able to find it in local office. You will be able to find it in the prep center support section of our website, and you can also get in touch with the brand team. The email is given over there for artwork approval. Now, moving on to the next part of the presentation, as I'm talking a lot about marketing assets, your question would be that where can I find it? So there is a dedicated section on our website for marketing support for preparation centers. You'll be able to find a lot more things over there, whether it is a certificate ceremony, whether it is a parent event or a parent orientation event, or maybe some support packs, or maybe some posters and window posters, etc., etc. All of that you can find on that section of the website. Here is a quick example of it. You can personalize it as well, because we provide you with open source files. So you can place your own logo, you can place your own messaging, etc., and you will be able to personalize it. So how do we keep our preparation centers and teachers informed? We have been talking a lot about that. We are updating the material every now and then. How do we keep our prep centers informed? So a very easy way to do that is, you could subscribe to our newsletter sign up. So if you sign up for our newsletter, you will be getting monthly tips, tricks, editions, upgrades, etc., free classroom resources, changes to our exam, marketing materials. You will receive all that through our newsletter. And if you have not done that, I would suggest you should go ahead and do that. It's a fantastic resource. Now, what happens? You have done all this. Now you want to kind of do the publicity. What do you want? So if there is any kind of activity which involves learning or a Cambridge English exam, you take a picture, post it on Facebook, and tag us using these hashtags. Please take a screenshot of this. You will be utilizing this a lot, because if you do that, we'll be able to repost your post or reshare your post or retweet your post, which will expose your post to the 59 lakh subscriber which is out there, which is great advantage when it comes to publicity and outreach. Similar goes the case for PR. So if you have any activity which is a major activity, we'll be able to support you with PR. So quickly going on to creating value-adding posts. Since we talked about social media, it involves a lot of images. One of the image I saw was very interesting, was the image that Sam showed to us. How you're gonna find that image, or how you can create such images, by using our professional images that we have procured to promote our qualifications. So you can either download it from brand folder, or you can request us at this ID, marketing@cambridgeenglish.in, and we will be able to help you out with it. Quickly moving on to linking all of these with our popular website content. So there is content on Test Your English. That is a free tool which is available for testing your English language level. There is Learning English and using our Cambridge English TV content, as stated by my colleague Kevin. Quickly moving on to the same, that if you share the success, we can reshare it for you. Be sure to tag us. We love seeing candidates receiving their certificates and celebrating their success, or teachers being recognized for their hard work. So that actually adds a lot of benefit to it. So quickly moving on to the joint and co-branded online events. We do a lot of teacher support webinars, product promotion events, and ELT webinars. The templates of all of them are available on the same Prep Center page I was talking about. Now, last but not the least, you should always connect it with Cambridge Connect. It's an outreach tool that we have developed for you. It will enable you to have the exam sessions management, planning and enrollments, candidates, and uploading the entries. It will also give you a bird eye view of all the candidates. We do the messaging templates. You just have to push that send button, and the message will be available to all the prospective parents and candidates as well. The online registration of students can also be done. So that as well can be done with Cambridge Connect. So quickly moving on to how does it look like. So it looks something like this, but it's continuously evolving. So for that, please get in touch with your nearest accounts manager, and they will be happy to help you out. With that note, I would like to request my colleague Gaja to take over from here. And Gaja is from Customer Success Team. Hi, Gaja. Okay.
Good morning.
Quickly doing one more poll before we log off, because since we talked a lot more about materials, etc., we would like to just conduct one little poll. And till then, Gaja, you can start with your session. Thank you all.
Thank you, Apurv. Yes, good morning, everybody, and we welcome you once again to this annual coordinators conference, and we hope you've had a nice time. Yesterday, we've had quite a few sessions, and we hope that you are able to join the other sessions lined up for today and tomorrow as well. So quickly moving on. So what we will be talking today is about flexible exam delivery and the best practices that centers have now started using to ensure the safety of all the candidates and the staff that is running the exam. Let's see how they do this. So the key highlights today will be the safety of centers and of the candidates, which is our top priority, as I said. We will also talk about how the flexible exam delivery model is now on. So until now, you would know that there were global dates available for all the exams, except for your TKT and for your YLE. And you would be able to take an exam only on those dates. Now, with the wake of the COVID situation, right from around April, Cambridge came up with this flexible exam delivery model, wherein a preparation center with coordination of the authorized center would be able to take an exam almost any day of the month. That is the amount of flexibility that Cambridge has brought in. So all you will have to do is just plan a little in advance, say about 4 to 5 weeks in advance. Get in touch with your authorized center and just tell them that you're ready to take the exam, and your authorized center will be able to help you run the exam. If not, get in touch with us as well, and we will be able to support you with that. And as I said, you would know that the entry closing dates for both the computer-based and the paper-based sessions were earlier somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks. But now it is very, very little, which means once you know that the government has allowed students to come back to the school or college or your center, and your school or college authorities are willing to run the exam, just get in touch with the authorized center and we will be able to help you take the exam. Now with that, the refund and rebooking policies have also become very customer friendly now. Again, just to ensure that anybody in need of this support, keeping in mind the COVID situation, Cambridge is very, very flexible now in terms of processing, refund and rebooking of your cancelled exams. And if you have had any exams that were scheduled, say sometime in the month of March or April, and you had to cancel because of this situation, do get in touch with your authorized center if you want to rebook those candidates into one of the days in the coming weeks or months. Please get in touch with your authorized center. The center staff is offered enough training before they can come and do an exam for your center. In terms of how to maintain social distancing, how in terms of hygiene, health and hygiene, all of this has been trained now. So we have also come up with some new standard operating procedures. And what does that mean? So as we said, the first and foremost is that the center should ensure that the government allows you, there is no restrictions in terms of students coming to your premises to take the exam. That is one. And the most important after that is the health and hygiene of the candidates and also the test venue. So we want to make sure that all the candidates and parents who send the young children to take these exams are reassured. They feel safe that their children are coming and taking the exam and have a very, very safe exam experience. So Cambridge has also come up with self-declaration forms for both staff and candidates. When I say staff, the ones who are running the exams, just to ensure that if there has been any chances of them being in and around a situation where they were exposed to the virus, they should be able to declare that, and the center will take a call on whether they should continue to work with them or not. As we said again, the cancelled and rescheduling of exams is now very, very flexible. So do not worry if for some reason you had scheduled an exam and you had to cancel, or if in future, in the coming months, if you have to reschedule an exam, no worries, we should be able to do that easily. Again, updated refund and rebooking policies are now very flexible. We should be able to help you with that as well. Now, how do you think that, as a teacher, as a coordinator, you might be thinking, what do they do if I have to let my students take the exam, take one of Cambridge exams? What will the authorized center do? How do they ensure that, the safety is taken care? One, as we said, they are trained now to ensure that all of these procedures are followed. We've lined up a list of standard procedures that we would want them to follow. As the picture shows, very, very simple. One is to disinfect the venue. and also to ensure that every time somebody enters the room, leaves the room, they disinfect the room, and they ensure that they are provided with sanitization liquids, masks, or even a face shield if required. So the first and foremost is that the local authority authorization. As I said, once again, the government should not have any restriction in your particular region, in your particular school or college, to allow students inside, to allow people inside the premises, one. And health authorities, if there is an authorization required, we would want you to take that as well wherever necessary. And also the exam staff is briefed in detail about how they should ensure the safety of the candidates. So there will be enough posters displayed, enough precautions taken to ensure the safety. ID checks, as you all know, ID checks has always been mandatory, and we still continue to do this to uphold the integrity of the exam. You know that most of our exams are high-stake exams, and we would still want to continue to do that and allow nobody to take advantage of the situation. So ID checks will still be mandatory, just that the staff who's doing the ID check will ensure that they are wearing disposable gloves, and also ensure that they have the mask. Just that when the candidate enters, when the ID check is being done, they would request the candidate to remove the mask for just a few seconds to ensure that they are letting in the right candidate. So we would still continue to do this by maintaining a proper distance between the candidate and the staff who's doing the ID check, and also by using gloves wherever necessary. This will still continue to happen. Now, as you see, we have come up with a lot of signages and posters to be displayed at the venue. We know that you as a teacher or a coordinator of Cambridge exams will want to ensure the safety of your students. So these posters will be brought to your center by the authorized center, and it will be displayed at every point where candidates and the staff are moving around, just to ensure that they are reminded every minute, every second, that they'll have to be very, very careful and still have a good exam experience. So for example, there is the social distance poster, how to wash your hands poster, and how to declare or just ensure that if you have any symptoms, you just have to come and tell the supervisor and how they can help you with that. Now, after this, we've also ensured that some of the centers who've already done the exams share the best practices with us. So if you still have any kind of a small question or a small, a curious kind of a doubt that, oh, how will I still allow my students to come and take the exam in your school or college? Do not worry. We have a few of our centers who have opened up after the pandemic to share with us how they have been able to conduct exams successfully by keeping in mind that by following the local authorization, whatever the government allows you to do, and also the college and the health authorizations protocols. So we will have a video coming up in some time where you will feel very, very reassured that yes, our authorized centers are taking all those extra steps to ensure that the safety of the candidates is at topmost priority. But before we go into the video, I will request Apurv. I think he has a couple of more questions to ask, and then we will get into the video, and I'll catch you again at the video.
Yeah, hi everyone, hi again. So quickly, since we were talking about preparation and a lot in the regards of the exam venue, exam centers, here is a quick for you, and I hope you will really find it interesting. That, since we talked about that many of you have already started preparing your students for Cambridge English exam, here is a poll. We want to understand, to prepare ourselves better and to prepare our centers better, to get all those preventive measures in check, that which month is your institution likely to offer Cambridge English exams to your students. So we are going to give it 2 or 3 more seconds to kind of everyone submit the vote button. I would encourage all the participants to do submit their answers over here on the poll. It will help us to serve you better and understand the situation better. Until that time, I'm going to play the video. Just give me a second.
My name is John D'Souza and I am the director of Center IN993. The government here has set some rules on how we can go about conducting these exams. We ensure that the place that we are going to conduct the exams, the center that we are hiring to conduct the exams, is not in a containment zone to begin with. Then we take permission from the local government authority, a dry cough, or any of the symptoms that lead to COVID. Once that is established, then the candidate, the center staff provides the candidate with a pair of gloves, first sanitizes his hands with sanitization liquid, then provides them with gloves, a face mask and a face shield.
Hi, this is Hari Krishnan from People English. We did a test, C1 Advanced computer-based test recently. We had about 30 odd candidates. We had told the candidates to come with masks, and while they were entering the venue, hands were sanitized, temperatures were checked. All of the staff members also were wearing a mask and a shield, face shield, as well as gloves. So then once the pre-registration process and the photographs were done, they were taken maybe 3-4 candidates at a time into the lab.
This is Tariq Khan and I am the operation manager of International Examination Services. Some of the instructions have come from the Cambridge side, what we are supposed to do. Some of the instructions are there from the local government, and there are some instructions we ourselves as an exam center which we felt needed to be added. As the children were seated there in the examination hall and they were not moving all around, so only those 1 or 2 if wanted to go to the washroom, then they were taken to the washroom one at one time, and under the supervision of an invigilator. And once they are done with the washroom, then their hands was properly washed and sanitized and then brought back.
Our center number is LK115. We have been conducting exams from early July 2020. Venue capacity has been arranged based on 1/3 capacity of each venue and sanitized.
I'm Chakrika Swajananthi from LK102 and I'm the center exams manager.
Okay, now we are at the entrance of our exam center. So there the candidates have to wash their hands. So we have set up a sink with a pedal. So that's how you have to operate it. Security officers will be checking the temperature, and also they will be spraying a sanitizer for your hands. And now we are going through a disinfection booth. You have to turn once there, and now we are entering the exam premises. There we are entering the waiting room. So we have arranged the chairs and tables in a way to maintain the social distancing. And now we are giving COVID-19 declaration forms which are provided by the Cambridge. So this form is for the exam staff, for the speaking examiners and all, to mention that they have any symptoms like that.
This is the computer lab we are using for the exam. So here we have put up signature. You see, there we have a box of gloves and a hand sanitizer for the exam staff to use and also for the candidates to use. And also there we have marked social distancing, and as you see in this we have marked social distancing.
During speaking component, a 2-meter distance maintained in the speaking room, and a photocopied pack of the speaking pack is given to the candidate. After each candidate, the speaking examiner disinfected the tables. Once the exam is over, candidates are lined up, maintain a 2-meter gap.
We have decided at IN 993 that we will send a private car, and we do not hire an Uber or an Ola, but we send a private car to pick up the examiner. This car is sanitized by the center.
So we were projecting all of the material, the speaking test material onto a projector, and with that they were able to see and answer the question.
Yes. Thank you, Apur, for playing the video. So if you all saw how much of efforts the centers have now taken, right from reducing the size of the venue to 1/3 of their original size, ensuring that children wash their hands after a toilet break, so much of personal care, disinfection booths in front of the center, the venue, and social distancing, the customized transparent barrier between the speaking examiner and the candidate. It's so much of efforts that has gone into to ensure that the candidates safely come and take a Cambridge exam. So all you have to now do is just find out when your candidates are ready, when your students are ready, just get in touch with your authorized center and they will be able to come and run the exams in a very, very safe manner. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll hand over again back to Apurv, maybe for his poll and for the next session that is coming up. Stay safe. Thank you so much.
So I guess this poll would be much more useful after Manish's session because it will set a context to it. So inviting Manish to kind of quickly join us and continue.
Thank you, Apurv, and wish everyone here a very good morning. Thank you for joining the session today. I'll be talking about or adding on to what my colleagues have been talking, how and what Cambridge has done differently during the COVID time, and we will talk about LinguaSkill and how this actually fits in or helps and support learners and teachers during this time. So LinguaSkill is a relatively new assessment from Cambridge, and this is for age group 16 and above, which means class 11 students and above can take LinguaSkill. The good part about LinguaSkill, some of the highlights, as with all the other tests, it is testing the 4 skills. The difference here is that it is modular, which means that you can take any skill at any point of time. If you want to take just a speaking skill test, you can take that. But this is a test and not a qualification, something that you may need to keep in mind. There are 2 test options available with Lingua. One is general and one is LinguaSkill Business, which tests the business English skills. How LinguaSkill maps as per the Common European Framework of Reference, CEFR as you call that. LinguaSkill, as you can see, is a multi-level test, and on the right hand side you can see how it maps with the CEFRs and the Cambridge English Scale, and also some of you are familiar with IELTS and how LinguaSkill maps as per the IELTS also. Where can you use LinguaSkill? So if you are an education institution like a school or a college, or even if you are a corporate, you can use LinguaSkill for your college or university admissions on, or maybe admission to secondary school. You can also use LinguaSkill to measure the progress of communication skills being taught at your institution. LinguaSkill can also be used for your recruitment purposes, lot of corporates recognizing LinguaSkill or to show the language level of your students. LinguaSkill can be used. LinguaSkill is also very popular with projects, a lot of government projects that we are doing, wherein graduate students using LinguaSkill to measure their performance in the communication skills being taught in their respective college or in respective university or school. When it comes from Cambridge, people expect it to be well trusted, and we can assure you that this has been trialed, as with all the Cambridge examination that we do. It's tested, trialed before being launched, with speakers of over 40 languages and with from around 50 countries. These are delivered by experts, and these are designed and developed by experts from Cambridge Assessment English. These are the AI-enabled tests, which I said in the very beginning. And moving on to what goes on behind the scenes, how these tests have been developed. A lot of projects that we do, they ask us, what is the science behind the test there? How have they been developed? So if somebody wants to know that, how the different modules of LinguaSkill have been developed, it's freely available on our website, and one can go and see what goes on behind the scene in developing the LinguaSkill tests. In terms of reporting, you can make an informed decision or compare the performance of your students. So as a partner, LinguaSkill can give you a group report or can give you an individual report for your students. So if it's a corporate, or maybe it's a college or university, they may want to generate individual reports as well as group reports in order to compare. So it gives a comparison of how your students have fared. It also gives an individual report, and you can see how detailed these reports are. And another good aspect is these are generated within 48 hours of the test being conducted, because these are all computer-based tests. LinguaSkill is really easy to administer. It can be done in your own institution. It can be done in your own school or college. And another feather in the cap is LinguaSkill can also be remote proctored, which means you can even take LinguaSkill from home. And this is something which really is a need of the hour, wherein anybody can take the exam from anywhere at any point of time. That's the flexibility that LinguaSkill has. My colleagues Samuel and Kevin were talking about resources, and here's, as with all the Cambridge examination, we also believe in adding a huge range of resources to help the learners prepare for these tests. These are resources right from listening to reading, writing, or speaking, or maybe in terms of building your vocabulary. So all are complimentary or free resources for people who are preparing for the test. Going on to the preparation, you can see how I was talking about audios or videos for the speaking test. So they're all freely available. You don't need a username or password to log in. Just simply go on to our website, go on to LinguaSkill. On the left hand side, you will find resources for LinguaSkill for preparing. So lots of support material, free complimentary support material available for you to prepare. Just here to capture what I have just said about LinguaSkill. LinguaSkill is the only AI-powered, fully adaptive on-demand test. So this statement captures it all. It is fully adaptive test, and I'm sure you all know what is an adaptive test, and it's an on-demand test. It is not date specific. It is AI-enabled. Even speaking and writing for LinguaSkill are AI-enabled, auto-marked. The result is fast and accurate, and as I said in my previous slide, within 48 hours you can have the individual reports and the group reports made available. And it is used for assessment of all needs. We talked about learners, academic, non-academic, teachers, staff in your institution. Since it's an adaptive test, it can be offered to various age groups and various sections of your staff. LinguaSkill can be used for learners for admission and placement. We have lots of requests from placement officers of universities, colleges asking if there's a quick and easy assessment, corporates asking if there's a tool which they can use for recruitment. There are institutions we work with who use LinguaSkill for assessing the language skill of teachers to place them at the right level. There are corporates using LinguaSkill for their learning and development needs too. So you can see how varied LinguaSkill can be. If you need more information, I'm just click away, just ping me or write me an email at manish@cambridgeenglish.in, and we'll be able to guide you in terms of how you can take a LinguaSkill exam, or more so if you would want to partner to offer LinguaSkill directly to your institution, we will be more than happy to help you there. So thank you very much for listening. More details are available on the Cambridge website. And before I go there, I would want to lead on also to the next session that is on some of the we have brought in some of the key people who have taken the extra step or gone the extra mile to share some of the case studies for their institution, how they have during these times supported learners or some teachers to prepare them for Cambridge qualification. So I hope we have on board here Miss Uma Menon, and Miss Uma Menon is the Vice Principal of Pre-Primary and Primary at Chennai Public School in Chennai, CPS in Chennai. Followed by that, we will have Dr. Vijaya Babu Palukuri, who's the Associate Professor. So Dr. Vijaya Babu is the Associate Professor at Vignan, which is a deemed to be university in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. So welcome, Ms. Uma and Dr. Vijaya, and I will hand it over to Ms. Uma there to start with. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to begin by stating that it has been a great privilege and honor for CPS Group of Schools to be associated with Cambridge English for almost a decade. Our collaboration started from the year of inception of Chennai Public School, that is 2009. And as you see, we take up different, these are the levels of the exams that we take up in our school. And we also have seen a steady increase in the number of participants in various levels of the Cambridge English exams over the years. And we are also proud recipients of the Center of Excellence Award for the years 2015 to 2018. In the present scenario, as everyone would readily accept, it has been a great challenge to transfer classroom teaching to the virtual platform. But we at CPS have incorporated the Cambridge assessment syllabus into the English curriculum, thereby giving us ample scope to practice the skills required to take up the Cambridge assessment exams and the school-based exams simultaneously. As you see, we have allotted one period per week for the Cambridge English assessment. And the primary and the secondary wings use their English textbooks as an additional resource to effectively train the students for the CET, PET, and the YLE exams. And the resources available in the Cambridge websites are also done during the online classes, and it is also given as home assignments to the students. So we have a range of resources available to us. And I would also like to just brief upon the different skills and how we do it inside our online classes. And as you see, the listening skill, we have about 2 practice papers which are already available in the website. And the listening skill we play during the online classes, and the children are really motivated when they hear someone else speak and do these colorful exercises. And we also have the listening skills which are available in the Cambridge website. And these are short exercises where you have very short script, and the children really find it interesting, and it is captivating for them to hear and then to answer the questions. So we send the website link to the children, and we ask them to post the answers through the Google Classroom to us, so that we can have an accountability of children are performing well or not. So this is what we do for the listening skills. And then for the speaking skills, as you all know, that it involves two skills. One is the monologue, and the other involves being a speaker as well as a listener. So we have to inculcate all these skills into the children. And so what we do is we really take up exams, we conduct mock exams during the class hours. And so we ask the students to do these exercises along with us, and we act as examiners to helping them out to get specialized in the speaking skill. And we also have the reading skill, which these exercises are very much available in the Cambridge website. And reading skills also involve comprehension skills. And so we give them the link of this website, and we ask them to do these short exercises and very short answers, because children need to be captivated, and we cannot give them long scripts to complete their exercises. So the reading skills are also done this way. And we also conducted a reading week. And what we did was we gave individual attention to the students, and we asked them to come read a passage, and we asked them comprehension questions. And then we also analyzed their reading skills and what were the defects or where we need to improve on them. And we also gave them prizes after conducting this particular event. And the writing skills, this is probably the most important aspect where we really need to work on for the students. And as you all know, that you have this Write and Improve, the website which is given by Cambridge, and they give us small prompts, and we provide them to students, and we ask them to just describe on it when they come to the online classes, or we give them as short home assignments where they come with really very well written paragraphs. And as you all know, this listening skills also is improved, where we ask the teachers to record a portion of their text, and then we play during the online classes, and we ask them questions through Google Forms. It is really interactive and really interesting, because they get their scores immediately. And debates are also conducted, for the speaking, to improve their speaking abilities, and they were sent into breakout rooms and given a topic where they had to debate, where they had to talk for to and fro for the topic. And as you all know, there are so many webinars which are conducted by the Cambridge University, and we had the teachers enroll in them, and we received wonderful resources. And these were really helpful for the teachers, to create various activities for the students. And this especially I would like to reiterate over here is the vocabulary, which is very, very important to improve all the 4 skills in English language. So we had this word list, which was also taken from the website and which was provided to us also, and we gave them as a weekly assignment. And the children had to come to class, and they were sent to the breakout rooms, and they were asked to create a story with maximum number of words used from this particular word list. And so I think that enabled them to write grammatically correct sentences. So though grammar is not taught as a component, as a separate component, we try to involve it inside our classroom teaching. So I would just like to say, during these tough times when it is very difficult to reach out to the students, and these little activities, which is provided through the resources of Cambridge, are giving learners scaffolded support, and also gives teachers ample opportunity to create interesting and motivating exercises. Thank you very much. I would love to thank Kevin for giving us this opportunity to share our teaching practices at these times. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Uma. I think that was a very good insight. I'm sure our K-12 partners would like to take lots of inputs from what you have talked about. So thank you once again. I would now like to introduce again Dr. Vijaya Babu Palukuri, who's an associate professor at Vignans, which is a deemed to be university in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. And I hope Dr. Vijay Babu is online now, and if you can please start your session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for the session and the time that you have provided for our VFSTR. I'd like to give just focus on 3 points in a nutshell. Just I'll wind up. The first point I'd like to focus on journey, our journey, Vignans Foundation for Science, Technology and Research, deemed to be university's journey with Cambridge University. Second point, would like to focus on the best practices which the VFSTR is practicing. And the third point, during the COVID pandemic time, what are the steps that we have taken, how we are able to take the classes during this pandemic. Just I'd like to focus on these 3 points. The first, our journey started with Cambridge in 2013. We had an MOU with Cambridge as a preparatory center, and we have taken support for conducting examinations from FACE Academy Coimbatore and CUP Cambridge University Press Hyderabad. And 2016, our center has become the authorized exam center, and you can see that the examinations, what type of examinations that we have been conducting. In 2014, actually we started with only preliminary English test B1 and Beck Vantage B2 level. And later gradually we improved conducting the examinations, that is even from the institute to the sister concern institutes, and then to the outside of the other institutions also. And we are conducting only, we are offering only A2 to B2 level, that is YLE, CAT for schools, PET for schools, and for intermediate level, that's B1 and B2 level, PET and Beck Vantage, Beck preliminary. So these are all the examinations just we had. And in the 2019-20, actually 1900 student candidates are pending for taking the examination, different examinations due to COVID. Maybe very shortly we are planning for the alternative mode of taking the examinations. We thought of shifting to the computer-based examination in slot wise, and then the journey with Cambridge is very smooth and healthy, that we have been receiving collegial cooperation from the Cambridge. And second point, I'd like to focus that our center is using authorized materials. That's actually in the beginning, initially we tried for the third party materials. Actually, with that we have seen certain differences in the preparation point of view, the candidates point of view. And then we actually that we got feedback even from the outside agencies like the company MNCs, which they come for placements, campus drives, that they have given very solid feedback that the students proficiency levels. That's why we have completely decided to take the material, authentic materials. And the second point in the best practices I'd like to focus, initially we tried to collect the fee for the examination by the center, but we were in a trouble, and we all know that how difficult it is to motivate the students and collect the fee for the examination. That's why we had a discussion with the management and administration. The fee for this examination, Cambridge examinations also, along with the tuition fee, we asked the administration to collect. So they have also happily accepted and they extended their support. This is one important, because we took the pain which we have taken at that time was inexpressible. The third one here, actually, we have given a space in the timetable. In the best practices, third point, space in the timetable for the training and or teaching and learning purpose. The objective PET for the first tertiary level students, we have given those who are taking the PET examination. Objective PET we have incorporated in the timetable. So partially that is in the curriculum also. So when it is in the timetable, automatically additional preparatory hours we can minimize. The instruction time or the teaching or the training period will be very effective, because when students are there in the class, teacher can have a kind of excellent interaction, and task-based teaching can be taken very easily and effectively. In the best practices, and we haven't tested it, conducting mock tests. Conducting mock tests, at least for 3 mock tests we have been conducting before taking the examination. And we have given equal importance to the 4 skills in the teaching learning process. Okay, and the third point, which that I'd like to focus, classes during COVID. Classes during COVID, as we have seen that the previous presenter that they have gone with the extent to support to the candidates. Here we have made different experiments. In the experiments, we found actually we started taking the classes with the Zoom directly, but when it is taking the classes through Zoom, students' motivation levels are being, we observed some, it is down. So we started sending the Google Forms for part-wise, reading, writing, even listening also. For listening, Vocaro, the software, online software, Vocaro free software, that's a wonderful tool that we can use. Really that helped us, because listening file, the file cannot be uploaded and we can't send through Google Form, the total MP3 file. So Vocaro helped us to overcome this problem. And then we have also used Answer Garden for immediate responses. So while the class is going on through Zoom, that we have used this Answer Garden for getting the immediate responses, and answers also that we received immediately can be displayed and it can be discussed. Very instant response and kind of answers also very clear. And then the third experiment we made with Kahoot, we are creating already. We used 2 Kahoots only. For grammar we used Kahoot, and actually in the Cambridge site we can get a Kahoot for A1 A2 level only. For B1 and B2 level, that we are using Kahoot for grammar and some kind of actually mixture level exercises that we are using Kahoot. The Kahoot, if we pay little attention on Kahoot, many of the teachers are using for teaching learning process during this COVID pandemic time. And this is wonderful. We were able to do it very excellently. And then another app that it is helped a lot for preparing the students, because all these are all very interested to use by the candidates. WhatsApp is one of the wonderful tools, because for speaking, for reading, writing, listening, that we can conduct using the other tools. But for speaking, we have to get back the information. That's why the questions, we have given some tasks and we ask to we ask them to speak for 1 minute. So 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, like that, on that particular topic. So that they will share through WhatsApp. It's in the group they will share. Okay. And here I have given just example, one Google form. These are the tools that we have used for the preparation or motivating for the students during this COVID. Thank you very much for giving us this opportunity for presentation. With this, just I'll stop. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, you can. You're free to ask any questions.
Sure. I think we will have a question answer session now. We have Mr. T. Karunachalam, and we also have Apoor from marketing. So you can start posting your questions here. We already have some questions, or I start asking them, and we can
Sure.
some warm up here. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. So let's start with the first question, Arun. Dr. Bitla Srimanaslu is asking, shall we get certificate for this webinar?
Yes, I think all participants who are attending the annual coordinators conference yesterday, today, and tomorrow, it's a repeat session. If you already attended today, you don't have to attend the one tomorrow. Please, you will all get the certificate of attendance at the end of the session. So don't worry about it. You would get it. There is also some more questions about sessions being registration session open for December 20th exam, or will it be online or offline? I think we are open for examinations as described by many of our centers. They are happy to conduct examination. So if your school or college is ready to conduct the examination, as we just got information for SOPs issued by the Government of India to reopen higher secondary schools voluntary basis from the 21st, and maybe colleges will also have something similar. I think if you're planning exams later this year, I think our centers will be more than happy to conduct our regular examinations. In case you want to do the online examinations, as my colleague Manish Puri presented, we do have artificial intelligence based examination, the Lingua skill, that can be made available for your students if they are 16 years plus. Then instead of getting them to do a physical exam, you can give them the links, and nowadays these exams are also conducted using remote proctoring. So they can also take up the exam from their residences.
Arun, on that note, let's quickly take a water test at how many people are interested in that. So starting a quick poll, that would you be interested in an online AI-based assessment for your students?
So on your right, you will see a poll question. Feel free to click on that so we can pick up the response and try and support you.
Till that happens, Arun, I think there are a few more questions. Kindly give me the link for registering new teachers of our schools.
Okay, I think there's a lot that my colleague Kevin and Sam talked about, the teacher training. If you are an existing school, an existing preparation center of Cambridge, you worked with us in the past and you have new teachers this year, kindly identify your champion, the Cambridge champion, either from our team or from your center's team, and share with them the list of your new trainers. There will be a regular calendar for training new trainers, and your trainers, new teachers can participate in these workshops that are being planned every month. That is one. But if you are a new school or a new college who want to introduce the Cambridge qualifications, there are a few steps before. I think we would need to sign up a letter of intent and get some of the other permissions from your management before we introduce this. So again, feel free to be in touch with my colleague Manish Puri and team so that your school or college can sign up the letter of intent, and then we guide you through the process for recommending your trainers for the appropriate training program. Because of COVID, normally these workshops are face-to-face workshops, but this time all these workshops will be digitally delivered, so your teachers can benefit from that.
Meanwhile, there is one more question we would like to address. What is the minimum infrastructure required for imparting Cambridge English certification examination? This is by Rohit Spring.
Manish, would you want to answer that?
Yes, thank you, Arun. Just to add to what Mr. Arunachalam said earlier, we have a webinar coming up on the 12th. Which is for new teachers, orienting them towards the young learners exam and also talking to them about various additional resources that Cambridge has to offer. Please you can contact me, or you can contact your Cambridge contact, if it is Mr. Vikas or Abhishek, Kevin, Samuel, whoever is in contact with you or with your institution or your exam partner. We will be happy to share that information or the webinar link for 12th. To answer the question, infrastructure requirement, there is no basic infrastructure requirement for running a Cambridge exam. It can be done in your own school or college or institution premises in the same way as you would do a board examination. So there are no special requirements that Cambridge would have. Yes, the examination needs to be done as per exam conditions, and we will be happy to share what those exam conditions are, but no special arrangements need to be done in terms of infrastructure. Yeah, I mean, for speaking and for listening, obviously you need a quiet place. So those kind of instructions are available in terms of what exam requirements are.
So a follow-up question to that, Manish, is that is it possible for conducting an online exam for students from class 6th to 8th?
Yes. Sorry. So for class 6 to 8, we have examinations which are as of now not available as an online option, but they are computer-based tests and there are pen and paper tests. Both options are available for students of classes 6 to 8. As you know, younger than that, for young learners, we have the YLE, which is the Young Learners English Test, which is available as a pen and paper option only.
Right. We have one more question coming in. It's by Aminat Shizna. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Our center certificate is expired this July. So if so, how I can apply for that?
Yes, I think the question probably, I think there are two questions around this. One is on, I think we guess you're a preparation center. Every Cambridge Preparation Center gets a Cambridge Preparation Center certificate for that academic year. So if you continue to offer Cambridge qualifications, kindly be in touch with your authorized center to help issue you the authorized, the preparation center certificate. Manish, is there anything to add to this question?
No, I think if you let us know, I mean, if you do not know who your preparation or your authorized center is, get in touch with one of us and you have the email IDs. We should be able to help you out there.
There was one more question on speaking examiner license. So that again, I think if you are already a speaking examiner, you are speaking examiner attached to one particular center of Cambridge. So you need to go back to your original center who made you a speaking test examiner and ask them to help you to kind of renew your certification, because for the benefit of others, speaking examiners need to be certified annually so that they can continue their validity as a speaking test examiner. So this year we have made arrangements for that to be done remotely. So there was this question from Chandima Somasiri. So please contact your authorized center to help you renew or recertify your speaking examiner authorization. I think we are almost close to this session. I think we are slightly extended. So if there are any more questions?
Somebody's raised their hand. Athira, if you have raised your hand, you wanted to ask a question, if you can type it in the chat box, we should be able to take that up. There was another question which was by, again, the same person, Amina Shizna. Do you give center approval certificate for 5 years duration? The preparation center certificate that we had given was for the 2-year duration and not for the 5-year duration. We do not give preparation center certificate for 5-year duration, just to answer your question. I think more questions coming up for people who may have joined late in terms of, are you issuing a participation certificate? We have already answered that. Initially, yes, there will be a participation certificate.
There is a question on, is there no option for certificates for speaking examiners? I guess Debashri Bose, you mean certification for examiners, or what do you call a certificate which says you're a speaking test examiner? We don't issue certificates that you are a speaking test examiner, but we issue you a letter, an official letter from Cambridge confirming with a particular number that you are a speaking test examiner for the relevant examinations of Cambridge. We don't issue certificates, we issue letters.
Rohit has asked for the email ID. Rohit, I had shared my email ID. I'll put that up in the chat box.
The presentation that was done today shared to all of you so that you can refer to those links and try and make best use of the presentation that we have shared today, including the resources and all of that. So end of today or by end of tomorrow, I think all the participants will get a participation certificate. Along with that, they will get the presentation as well for them to refer to. I think with that, I think we should bring this session to a close. I think some of you would have registered for the Cambridge Live experience. I think each session has a separate login, so kindly watch your email for the logins for the Cambridge Live experience. As we have shared earlier, we have an amazing lineup of the best speakers in the world, the best authors, the best trainers in the world who will be sharing knowledge, along with certain inspire sessions that will probably excite you as a teacher or as an educator or as a principal. Feel free to kind of, if you've not already chosen a session, go back, look at if there are some sessions that still interest you. But those who are already registered for those sessions, watch out for the login details on your email and feel free to join in. Thank you very much. We hope you had enjoyed the presentations as much as we had enjoyed putting it together. But because of the technology, we have limitations in not taking more questions. But you all know us. Feel free to share with us any queries that you may have, and the team will be more than delighted to support and answer you. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the whole team from Cambridge who have been behind the show. Moderator Joshua, Apurv, the host, all our presenters, and the team still working behind screens to make sure that we can reach out to all of you and make available this session. Thank you once again. And those who have attended today, if you also registered for tomorrow's session, just a reminder that it's a repeat session. So if there are some other teachers in your institution who you think would benefit, kindly pass on the registration to them. If you have attended today, there is no need for you to attend again the session tomorrow. Thank you once again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.